Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use a protractor to measure an angle. First, I want to remind you all of the vocabulary used when describing an angle. You have the vertex, which is the point in the middle where the two lines intersect, and if you remember, these lines are called rays. Step 1. I need you to look at your protractor and locate the sight and the horizon line. The sight, which is also sometimes called the origin, can look different on different protractors. It can look like a little target or crosshairs. Sometimes it's just a little circle or a hole in the protractor. Now, the horizon line, which can also sometimes be called a baseline, it's the horizontal line that goes along the bottom of the protractor. You often have to visualize it because most protractors won't have it marked all the way across because it's not completely essential that it runs all the way across. But what I do want you to notice is that these 3 points are always collinear. They line up straight across, and that's important. Now for step 2. You're going to lock the sight or the origin of the protractor onto the vertex. You need to make sure that you keep your crosshairs on the vertex, and then you're going to ground one ray to the horizon line. I'll show you what I mean. If I ground one ray, I use the other ray to read the measurement. And if I ground this ray, the other ray will read the measurement. And now for my third and final step. Always take your measurements starting from 0. If I measure the spine of this book with a ruler, I can measure it from left to right or right to left and get the same measurement, as long as I'm always starting at 0. If I started at 12, it wouldn't make any sense to call this 7 inches. I'm also not going to overcomplicate things by starting in the middle and take 9 1/4 and subtract 4 inches from that to find out my measurement is 5 1/4 inches. That's just ridiculous. Start from 0. You have 2 sets of numbers because you can start from either side of the protractor. I'm going to measure a couple of angles here so you guys can just watch the process. And like I said, you can start on either ray of the angle. Sometimes you'll notice that one side might be more convenient to use than the other, depending on how your angle is situated. You may notice that sometimes you have to extend or project one or both of your rays in order to get an accurate read on the protractor. And that's easy. Take the extra 2 or 3 seconds to line up a straight edge and project the line in the direction the arrow points. And this will ensure that you take an accurate measurement. Now, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks when measuring angles. You should be able to recognize when you have an acute angle. So it's definitely going to measure less than 90 degrees. If you should measure this angle, A red flag should go up if you get 130 degrees for the measurement. You should also be able to recognize a right angle, or if an angle looks close to being a right angle, then your measurement should be close to 90 degrees. You should be able to spot an obtuse angle. So if you're given a nice wide open angle, your measurement has to be greater than 90 degrees. Also, if you come across an angle that looks like it's almost could be a straight line, then its measure should almost be 180 degrees and not 5 degrees. So pay attention to which set of numbers you are using. For example, with this particular protractor, if I start on the right, I'm going to use this bottom set of numbers. And if I start on the left, I'm going to take the top set of numbers because I am always going to start at 0.